Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the 2026 Lincoln Nautilus Black Label. This model is finished off in white platinum with the gloss black roof, and with options, MSRP is just over $84,000. Now this is also the hybrid as well, so that is paired with the 2-liter inline 4-cylinder turbo along with the CVT transmission. It pumps out 310 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. It's all-wheel drive, weighs in just over 4,400 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 6.7 seconds with a top speed of 126 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 20 gallons, and you'll expect to see it 29 miles per gallon in the city and 31 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 114.2 inches. Its overall length is 193.2. It has a width of 85.4, a height of 68.2, and its ground clearance measures in at 8 inches. Now, as we work our way to the exterior styling, this has the Jet Appearance package, which gives it some gloss black exterior trim accents, along with some of the body colored features too. And then up front, there's also this LED bar that runs from headlight housing to headlight housings. There's a dark housing for those to match nicely, and you'll notice the Lincoln badge lights up right in the middle. I think that is a really unique touch to see. You'll notice with the gloss black grille, there's a lot of cutouts. There's also parking sensors too. There's a sensor in the lower section for the distance pacing and all of that tech. You'll notice more gloss black accents with functional inlets, more parking sensors too, and then the cutouts on both sides of that sensor in the lower section, and some very subtle lines coming down the hood to give it a fantastic look. Now this model also has a set of 22-inch wheels with the two-tone design. You'll notice the body-colored fender arches. There's also some more gloss black running down the side. It's in the lower side skirt. It's also on the Nautilus badge that goes pretty much through that front door there. Now there's also power folding side mirrors along with a camera and a turn signal. You'll notice too that there's some chrome trim accents just to separate the gloss black on the upper section of the window. And then there's the roof racks and the full moonroof up top. And then as we take a step back, you'll notice some very prominent lines that run down the side, and you'll notice there's no traditional door handle. That's because they're mounted at the bottom of the window trim. So you have the electronic release on the inside. From a distance, it makes it blend in much nicer, and you really don't see that, just to give it more of that seamless look. Now in back, there's more gloss black for the spoiler, where there's the third brake light. Wiper blade is tucked up underneath. There's also LEDs for all the lighting, backup camera, parking sensors too. This also has a dual exhaust system. You will not be able to see it. It's very well tucked up underneath and hidden, but we can take a listen to it because it does have remote start. So lock it, double tap that button, and you won't really hear it start up because it is the hybrid, but you will be able to tell from the illumination with that light. You can double tap on it again to shut it off as well. There's also the control for the lift gate. This has the hands-free option, so you can kick your foot up underneath or just push this hidden button over on the right side. As this has the power lift gate, that makes it very easy to open up. Now for this 2-row SUV, there's a good bit of space in the back. There's also a full-size spare where you have a little bit of storage. You can place some smaller items. There's also a hook, a 12-volt. You can fold the back seats down. So just by pushing on that button, they will be manual to put them back up, but you can at least do that from the back, which is nice. There's cargo lights too, even an area to put the cover, so you can have that cover as needed. And then up top, I do wish it had the control to lock the vehicle. You only have the button there to close the lift gate, so it will not lock by pushing one of those controls. Now this also does have proximity door handles, so you can just grab any door handle in order to open these if the vehicle is locked. And then this model is paired with the blue and dark red interior. Really neat to see that, along with all the brushed accents for the speaker system. There's a window control. This is the release right on the inside of the grab handle there. There's some gloss black and then storage in the lower section. And then here's a look from this angle. You have a massive opening in order to put in some bigger items as needed. And then this has blue seats with the blue leather and the blue suede. Really neat design to see. And at 5'10", hopping into these seats now, I have a good bit of space. There's some auxiliaries behind the front seat, storage pocket down below. These are even heated seats, so there's those adjustments, along with the vents on both sides and even the 110 outlet down below. And then at my height, even with a hat on, I have about 2 or 3 inches of headroom there, and these seats are reclinable, so you can get nice and comfortable, where this also has blue for the Alcantara headliner, which is neat to see. Very premium materials for this interior. Now in the armrest here, there's also cup holders that poke out of the end there. And then as you saw, these seats are connected. So there's a 60-40 split. There's also that cargo window there. And then the bolster support for these seats, I didn't mention, very comfortable for your back passenger. So it's a great place to be. Now this also has the keypad along with lock and unlock on the bottom there. So you can use that as needed. And then you'll notice there's the Revel Ultima audio system, window controls, side mirror adjustments, memory seating controls with lock and unlock, and then the same materials as in back. This also has multiple different adjustments for these seats. You'll notice the leg support is split, so you can support either leg individually, and there's also multiple adjustments for the bolster supports on the side. So these are very comfortable seats, and you can get them dialed in nicely. Now, as we enter for this Nautilus, this has the 48-inch screen that runs from pillar to pillar. So let's start this up now, and we can bring all of this technology to life here, where we'll start off with this ovalish design for the steering wheel. You'll notice there's a really subtle design for it. There's controls on the left and the right, but you don't actually see them down below here. If you can see in the background, when you highlight your fingers on this, they will pop up in the gauge cluster here. Volume is up and down, there's tuning left and right, and then voice commands on the lower left. And then same thing goes for this side. Now we can get into some cruise control settings. So you can activate cruise control, you can set resume, and then you now have distance pacing and lane keeping assist. And all that information will pop up depending on if you have that on or off, which is really neat. It's a little confusing to get used to, but once you know where to look and how to feel for it, everything is up front there. So you don't really have to look down at the steering wheel, which is nice. You have turn signal stock on one side and then wiper blade controls on the other. Now below on this left side, there's the lift gate, the fuel cap release, a dimmer switch, headlight adjustments, and then the e-brake down below. There's one air vent. And then for the rest of this screen, you'll notice there's some fixed information like fuel and mileage. So this is about the range. I've only driven it about 15 miles or so. So definitely a long range for this. You'll notice there's navigation that is fixed in the middle. And then for the passenger side, you have three different layouts basically. You'll notice I currently have my phone paired to this. There's weather in the middle and then time on that outside. And that half of the screen is customizable by using this middle infotainment system. So on the home screen, you'll see this split view where you can look at some information. And then you also have a lot more to go through. There's various driving modes for the all-wheel drive system. You can also get into all of the ambient lighting and adjust that as needed. There's traction control. You'll notice a lift gate release. There's also this digital scent. So you can actually adjust how you would like the interior to smell going through all of those. This also has massaging seats. So you can get into the multiple different settings here depending on what you would like to use. You can turn it off, of course, and then here's all of the adjustments. So you can go through all of these depending on what you would like to adjust and where you would like to adjust your support. You can also get into the brightness, there's valet mode, vehicle status, and different settings. So you can customize this to your liking with how you want all this information to react. So you have quite a lot on this left side that you can gain access to. Now, if we keep going down the list on the left side, now you have all of the apps. You can get into your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and you have a few others here that you can use as needed. This next control here is how you can now adjust those three screens. So you'll notice I have music, weather, and then the time. You can just drag and drop this, and they will automatically switch up top there. So depending on your layout, you have a few others that you can customize. So not a ton, but it is nice to have these. It would be nice if you had some more widgets, just depending on other information that you would like to see rather than this, but it is neat that you can at least customize it. And then the lower left, now I can push on my phone. So you'll notice that it brings up all this information as it would on most vehicles where you can pair your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and it's pretty quick to the touch. Now you'll notice the lower section here is going to be fixed. So this has heated seats, ventilated seats, the heated steering wheel, there's also temperature adjustments, and then you can push in the middle to bring up all of the climates. So now you can go through this information, turning it on and off, and there's some other recircs and fan speed located down below. Now there's also air vents. Here is the gear selector. So with my foot on the brake, just push down for R, where you'll notice the backup camera up here up top. In the lower section here, this is how you can change the angles. So you'll notice it will change up top while I control it from down below. And then you can also go through some of these angles here for the top-down view and bringing up some guidelines. You can also zoom in and zoom out. So you'll notice it will change again on that top-down view. There's also this plus indicator, and I can go through a down view, more like a hitch view, even though there's no hitch for this. So that is neat to see, and then you have the rest of them, of course, just by pushing them all down. Now there's also a defroster. You have a shortcut to the camera system, so you can pull that up even in park, and then a shortcut to the driving modes. So I showed all of those, but you can get to it from down here. Volume is right in the middle. There's also the brake hold, hazards, and then a shortcut to turn on and off the parking chimes if you would like. Now there's wireless charging along with cup holders and auxiliaries. You can hide all of that away with this gold cover here, which is neat. And then there's also some auxiliaries in the armrest. There's also storage in the glove box, more of the dark red with vents above that. There's the rear view mirror, and then controls for dome lights, the sunroof, the sunshade. There's also a sunglass holder, and then garage door buttons on the sunshade itself. And then here's a look at visibility. Very open for this vehicle. So you have a lot of visibility over both sides. As we set up behind the wheel now for the Lincoln Nautilus, this has been a really interesting SUV to drive simply because it has a much different layout than pretty much every other vehicle. I think it is unique and really neat to see. I wish there were a few more customizations, especially for where the navigation is. You do have some other vitals there, like what gear you're in, your odometer, outside temperature, but you can't change the navigation screen. I don't think it needs to be on all of the time, but I haven't seen any way around that, which would be cool, just like the rest of it is configurable. But let's put it into the Excite mode now and give it an acceleration where it's not crazy loud, but it can get up to speed, which is nice. So it's been a very comfortable vehicle to drive, plenty of power for day-to-day driving. And you get used to the ovalish design for the steering wheel. Again, very different. I have seen this in the new Ford Expedition. Some of those models have the same design for the steering wheel, but everything is very easy to use. These seats are also very comfortable too. At 5'10", I have like 4 or 4.5 inches of headroom with the seat where it is, and that appears to be all the way down for the height adjustment. So you can be much taller than me, and it's definitely a very comfortable place to be. You have a lot of space for the sizing of this vehicle. It's not overly large, so if you're looking for, I don't want to say a compact SUV, but it's definitely on the smaller size. It still offers a lot of interior space and especially room for your backseat passengers. Now, I will say one gripe that I do have with this particular vehicle is the brake pedal. Right now I'm on the brake pedal, but I'm also on the attachment point for it. Because that's on the inside, you're going from the gas pedal right to the brake. I'm touching that portion there. I think it would be nice if this had pedal adjustments to move them forwards or backwards, because even with the seat all the way back and the steering wheel all the way back, I still can't get my shoe to go below that and do the brake pedal. So maybe even if the brake pedal was a little bit larger too, I'm sure that will vary depending on where you place your foot, but I really haven't noticed that in any other vehicle that I've driven. So just a minor thing with the pedal placement and how that attachment point for it is. Other than that, it's a really cool SUV. I like the tech features. For this large curved screen, I know that's not going to be for everyone, but I do think Lincoln did a great job integrating it into the dash to where you can still read all of this information. And I can see now why, from the driver's seat, why the top has been flattened out, because I can see right over it for the miles per hour. So I can see the speed limit sign and how fast I am going. There's no head-up display because of how far back the screen is. It's basically a head-up gauge cluster mixed in, if you want to say that. And still in the Excite mode, here we go. And we can quickly get up to speed, but this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the latest Lincoln Nautilus. A really cool look. I do like how the screen is integrated into the lower section of the dash, and it's very large, so you can even glance over and see the time over there, and everything is very visible. So I like the fact that while it is over there, you can quickly glance and see it, and of course still pay attention. But this has been a nice vehicle to drive. We have the ambient lighting, which I've changed to blue there, which is a neat interior accent. There's also some footlights too, and it's super comfortable. Very premium feeling materials for this model, as you would expect, especially for its price tag. Everything just has a nice feel to it. And of course, there's other options that you can go with, just depending on what you would like to spec on your vehicle, what you would like to spend. Certainly a great option with what comes with this model and a few of the packages that this particular one has too. But seats are super comfortable. I like the fact that it has a split design for the leg support. Not many vehicles have that, so that is very neat, just depending on your situation and how comfortable you are with both of those. And then you have plenty of space for your backseat passenger. So if you don't want a large vehicle, but you want plenty of interior space for both your passengers and cargo, it's a great SUV to go with, and very comfortable too. Even in this inclement weather, you don't really hear much. Of course, that can vary, but it's very comfortable, very well insulated too, and just will provide you with a smooth ride. So that is going to wrap it up for the 2026 Lincoln Nautilus Black Label. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads, and I will see you all in the next video.